One day closer to the weekend and one day closer to Hoop Fest weekend, most of all. So let's head on over to meteorologist Thomas Patrick in the Weather Center. Thomas, I love when your map is yellow and orange and even red because it's been a weird spring, summer. So is Hoop Fest going to be a good one?
Yeah, Hoop Fest is going to be awesome. We also have, I believe it's the half Ironman in Coeur d'Alene this weekend as well, if I remember that correctly. Awesome weather on the way this weekend. And yeah, when the map is yellow and orange, that's usually 70s and 80s. Thankfully, it's not blue, which would be too cold, or not like dark red and pink, which would be way too hot like it was last year. But 81 in Spokane yesterday was the warmest day we felt all year long. And look at that. Bright sunshine, a little bit of lens flare from the camera that overlooks Riverfront Park. We have 56 degrees with a bit of a breeze, and I'll admit it felt a little bit crisp this morning with that bit of a wind out there, but the sunshine is going to do its magic and give us another awesome day. A little bit of light cloud cover to the north, but nothing to worry about overall. Temperatures in the 50s and even a few 60s in central Washington, even as of the current hour at 7 o'clock. And we'll be in the 70s for today. Not quite 80s due to a little bit of a cool front that moved through yesterday, but the 80s will be back for the weekend, and we might even be right into the 90s before you know it. We'll take a look at your extended forecast in a couple minutes.
New overnight, Spokane fire crews responded to a hazmat situation at the Haskins Steel Company building in East Central. Now, according to fire officials, vapors were leaking from the building. Early last night, people were being told to shelter in place in the surrounding area. But as of this morning, that has been lifted. Now, of course, this is a developing story and crews are still investigating the cause. So, of course, we'll continue to bring you the very latest information as we continue to learn more.
Rising prices are affecting just about everything, and now local food banks are struggling to meet a growing demand. KREM 2's Malia Kamal is live right now with how one local food bank is dealing with inflation. Hey there, Malia, good morning. Tell us about it.
Good morning, Tim. I'm at the Spokane Valley Partners warehouse, and if you look here, you can see that the shelves are bare. Now, this bin right here typically holds produce, but it is empty. Now, over here, this shelf is usually filled with oats and cereals, and that is also empty. Now, I am hearing that the reason for this is that they just can't keep up with the supply and demand due to inflation, and so now they're having to consider alternatives. Now, Spokane Valley Partners is one of the largest food banks in the inland Northwest. The communication director says that the food bank was hit hard during the pandemic with long lines, but it doesn't compare to the hardship of today. Spokane Valley Partners says that when you compare the first quarter of last year with this year, they're serving 36% more clients. With an increase in demand and rising food costs, they're just struggling to keep up.
We are at a point now with our supply where we're having to make difficult decisions like, do we start putting less in carts? Do we start tailoring back our mobile distributions to fewer per month because we're having such a difficult time meeting the need?
Now, Spokane Valley Partners serves about 5,000 people each month. The communication director says that it's unnerving to see so many empty shelves in the warehouse, and she's worried that demand will not slow down. Now, the partners say that they can actually use donations in the form of food versus money, because that's just something that they can utilize more of. And they say that you can help by hosting your own food drives and donating those products. In Spokane Valley, Malia Kamal, KREM 2 News.
Talking about gas prices now, President Biden wants to give drivers a little bit of a break this summer as he is calling on Congress to suspend the federal gas tax through the end of September. The 18 cents per gallon tax is used to fund repairs for major highways, but the administration says other money could be used in the meantime. Experts with Gas Buddies say that while the tax holiday could offer some temporary relief, it may ultimately end up making things worse.
Cutting prices risks Americans increasing consumption, which could eventually cause prices to go up down the road.
The president's plan is expected to face opposition in Congress, where lawmakers are divided on the issue. President Biden is also calling on states to enact their own relief as well. Now, here in Washington, just last month, Governor Jay Inslee said that he was not considering a gas tax holiday here.
If we did do a reduction, we'd have to stop these projects. So we got projects all over the state of Washington, the 520 bridge, maintenance, a bunch of these projects would have to stop. And we know people don't want to have more traffic jams in our state.
The governor's office reiterated its skepticism of the approach in a statement after President Biden's announcement. Now, President Biden's call to suspend the gas tax echoes many other leaders across the country. So Tim is now taking a look at the states that do have a gas tax and what the savings could actually look like.
That's right, Channing. So right now, only 5 states enacted their own gas tax holidays. It's Connecticut, Florida, Georgia, Maryland, and New York. So those states actually don't even have the highest in the country. Pennsylvania tops the list with drivers paying 58 cents a gallon in taxes. So where does our state stack up? Washington state lands at number 3 with 49 cents a gallon in taxes. Alaska pays the least at 9 cents a gallon. Meanwhile, taxes are 20 cents or less in 9 states. So just a reminder here, these are state gas taxes. This does not include the federal tax. Now, let's take a look at the potential savings if the federal gas tax was removed. So here's the scenario. The federal gas tax is just over 18 cents, so we'll also take fluctuating gas prices out of the mix. So if you do have a 13-gallon tank, and assuming that you fill up once a week in a 3-month period, you would actually save around $31 over the course of the proposed relief period. Filling up a 20-gallon tank would save you around $48. And if you have one of those big trucks that have 30-gallon tanks, you could save around $72. Diesel users would save more because the federal tax rate for diesel is just over 24 cents. Meanwhile, local drivers we talk to say gas prices are hitting them very hard. When we talk to drivers filling up, they say the biggest hike in gas prices is forcing them to make tough choices, and they're hoping some relief is on the way.
I'm used to going and taking care of business every day. And anymore, I may be staying at home 3 days a week.
Yeah, I mean, we definitely drive our electric vehicle as much as we possibly can, just to save money at the pump. But it makes me think twice about taking long trips because it's a lot more expensive. You have to figure that in.
You can count on us to keep looking for ways to help you save money, and that includes finding the cheapest places to fill up in the Inland Northwest. Our team made an interactive map to help you find the best deals. Just text the word gas to the number 509-448-2000. We'll send a link right to your phone.
Happening today, the Supreme Court is set to release more opinions. The High Court added an extra opinion day this week, so more decisions will be released tomorrow in addition to today. There are still 13 cases that are expected to be discussed before the court begins its recess in early July.
It is time now for your morning rush. More news in less time. Idaho State Police are looking for information about a missing Idaho man. 28-year-old Michael K. Murphy Jr. went missing in March of 2018. He is 6'2" with brown hair and brown eyes. The Justice for Native People says Murphy was last seen in the Palouse Mall in Moscow getting into a car with an unknown man. If you have any information, you are asked to call Idaho State Police at the number there on your screen. A popular Washington winery is up for sale. Woodinville-based Chateau Ste. Michelle plans to move all of its wine production to eastern Washington. They say it's a business decision to cut down on diesel. The winery is one of the nation's largest wine companies. The company farms nearly 30,000 acres across Washington, Oregon, and California. A cow on the loose held up traffic on I-5 in western Washington yesterday. Take a look at the video there. It took a lot of work. Roads were blocked off as State Patrol tried to capture the calf there. And thanks to a local rancher and State Fish and Wildlife, they were actually able to get the cow safely. The State Patrol says the cow had been loose for a couple of days. And believe it or not, cows can actually run up to 20 miles per hour, making it pretty difficult to capture them. And that's a look at your morning rush.